Okay, now they're going to be presenting about different tips on how to build a successful mentorship, relationship, partnership with faculty members. If the faculty can briefly introduce yourself and provide a tip on how to seek a mentor.
I am Hale Kaynak. I am a professor of operations management at the College of Business. Can you hear me? And I am also the director of the PhD program at the College of Business. I came here, I came to the US as an international student. And of course, when you are an international student, the meaning of mentor becomes more important because you don't have family. You don't have that sport group, so actually you don't have the problem of balancing your social and your studies and family life because you don't have a family. It is a blessing maybe in that sense. And then you don't have money to be very social, so that's what all you do is to study. But we have two types of graduate students here. I think one type is the graduate students at master's level, and the other type is the graduate students at the doctoral level. Now, if you are at the master's level, and then you may want to ask yourself, what do you want to do when you graduate? For example, when I came to the US, I knew that when I finished my MBA, I wanted to go to the PhD program. And and if you're an international student, it may be a good idea if you can find any professors at your department from the same country, because they would know that where you come from. And I was very lucky. I had two Turkish professors. I come from Turkey, I should have said that. And two Turkish professors at the College of Business when I was doing my MBA. And I used to go talk to them. And all the time about the academia, they weren't in my area I wanted to study. And but they suggested me the people who would like to work with me. So that is, it is one way of finding mentors. And if you, and also the main thing is talk to your professors at every opportunity. To talk to them and try to, find a mentor who, you have the common interest. So that is really important. And then, of course, don't take the easy road. Some professors have a reputation of being tough ones. And they say, oh, he's so tough, or she's so tough. And that's okay, because you want to find a mentor. This may be on my opinion, I don't know. And you may want to find a mentor that, who is going to push you. Not just easy, but he will, how should I say, who would contribute to your personal development, personal growth. So that is really important. And then, again, of course, if you have a B-type personality, do you know what B-type personality is? It is, for example, if I am waiting online at HEB, and if I wait more than 2 minutes, my heart starts, beating very fast, because I cannot, I have a type A personality. I want everything to be perfect and on time, and I don't want to wait for anything. So the B type is just opposite, more relaxed people. And if you have a B-type personality, maybe you should get a mentor A-type personality. Because if you to B-type personality, I don't think, I mean, I don't think you'll finish very soon, you know, your graduate work. So you may want to balance, you know. So if you have it like me, A-type personality, you may want to have someone, I mean, who is meticulous, but at the same time, a little bit knows how to have fun or will relax you, you know, this kind of things. And also, I mean, a good mentor will provide you structure. For example, I mean, I think they'll tell you that I mentor both of them, and we provide, we sit, we say, okay, we are going to go to this conference, we have to prepare, let's prepare this paper to submit to this conference, let's prepare to submit that conference, how we can find money to go to, you know, this conference. I mean, we provide you some structure, but at the same time, who will allow you to be creative. You know, that is really important. And then, as I said, you have different mentors. And I mean, I'm going back to master's level. So if you are at master's level and if you want to go to private, you want to work in the private sector, then you may want to work with professors who have, you know, who have connections to the companies, firms, this kind of things. And at the PhD level, you have mentors. I mean, your professors will be your mentors. Then when you go to conferences again, try to connect with the professors from other universities, and they will become your mentors. And then, for example, if you are PhD students, probably maybe you don't know what I'm talking about now, but you'll remember the phrase later on. Later on, you'll go to doctoral consortia, you'll go to doctoral consortia, and then you know, get to know the other peers. They may be 1 or 2 years older than you at the program, but then they may open some doors for you. And of course, if at the PhD program, you may want to find mentors who are recognized in their field, who are experts in their field. So you need to go to, if you want to, or at the master's level, you want to pursue an academic career later on, you know, go to your college website, you know, read all your professors' resumes, what kind of research they conduct, in which areas, you know, this kind of thing, so it will help you to choose. But I mean, really attending meetings is very beneficial in terms of finding mentors and making connections, so they are really important. I mean, I'm just, you know, I can't go on, but I need to finish.
My name is Phil Zwirling, and I teach creative writing in the English department. So let me start by being chauvinistic. How many of you are here to work on graduate degrees in the English department? All right. How many of you are here to work on MFA degrees in creative writing? Okay, well, good to see you. All right. I wanted to be here this afternoon because I put in 13 years as a graduate student. Now, I know you're thinking he looks much too young, or you're thinking, how could it take him that long? But I actually went to 3 institutions and earned 3 graduate degrees, an MDiv, an MFA, and a PhD. And in that time, I learned a couple of things I want to share with you. One thing you need to know, and 2 things you need to do as graduate students. And the first thing I think you need to know is that graduate school is completely different from college. Okay? You remember the transition from high school to college? Completely different. We have students who show up here as undergraduates who think they're entering 13th grade. It's not so. It's completely different. So you remember what the transition was like. Now you're making another transition. It's a disjunction. I hated being an undergraduate in college. It meant sitting in class, listening to the professor, giving back in tests, all that we had heard, very little room for expression or for getting deeper into subjects. I loved graduate school, obviously. I did it for 13 years. It is a chance, and it is a chance to dig in and do some real work and prepare for whatever vocation you will be entering and spending the next 10, 20, 30, or 40 years of your life. This is the time when you try on the robe of the profession, whatever that means to you. It's a time when you get a CV together. It's a time when you do original research. It's a time when you send articles out for publication. It's a time when you get yourself some business cards printed. I remember when Paula Vogel, a Broadway-produced playwright, came to University of California, Santa Barbara, where I was in a PhD program, and I gave her a business card, and all it said was my name, a graduate student, phone number, email address. She said, and she teaches at Brown University, she says, I've never seen a graduate student with a business card before. Well, why not? If we want to stay in touch with people, if we want to make those connections, that's what we have to do. Graduate school is about trying on the profession. And of course, part of that is also finding a mentor. Okay? The wonderful thing about this university, and really any university this size, is that everybody here who's on the faculty who has a terminal degree is a specialist in something. Whatever interest you have, you can find someone to work with. You may have to look a little bit, but they're there. Look at the, as my colleague said, look at the department listings. See what professors have written. See what fields they're working in, and approach them. That's the other difference from college. In college, I think I was invited to a professor's home perhaps twice in the 4 years I was there. Here at UTPA, I have graduate students in my home at the end of every semester for dinner. There's a much closer relationship. There's a much more of a chance not only to get to know someone, but to build a relationship and to work with someone. So you need to take advantage of that and seek the people out who share your interests. Two other things you need to know is that for success in graduate school, you need to show up and you need to do the work. Right? That probably applies to everything. Most of our graduate students are right there and digging in and working hard, but I think of two examples in the past year. One student who said to me, I've never had a chance to read a class. Can I come into one of your classes and teach the class? I said, absolutely. I want all the students, all the grad students, to have that opportunity. We worked out a date, we worked out a subject, and then what happened? She didn't show. Mm-hmm. And I said, you get back to me when you're ready to do this. I haven't heard from her yet. You have to show up and then you have to do the work. Last May, I sat on a thesis committee as a student presented their final thesis for graduation, for a master's degree. Not in my department. The thesis work was not impressive. A few months later, she came back to me and asked for a letter of recommendation. And I said, no, I'm not going to write it. You have to show up and you have to do the work. If you do those things, you're going to have a wonderful time. And you'll find the faculty are looking for you and to work with you. We want to pay it forward because we had those experiences as graduate students ourselves. I still remember my first academic publication at UC Santa Barbara. Some of the students were putting on a medieval play out of doors for the campus, and it was going to be done just as plays were done in medieval times. My professor, a mentor for me, who was an expert in medieval theater, said, Phil, somebody should write a performance review. I said, okay. And he said, I know just where you should send it. I had to write it down. I looked back in my records. The journal was Research Opportunities in Renaissance Drama. I'd never heard of it. I've never read it. But Bob Potter, an expert in the field of medieval theater, said, write the review, send it in, maybe it'll get published. And that became my first academic publication. Those are the things that people did for us as graduate students. That's the kind of thing that we would like to do for you. So I wish you a lot of success now as graduate students at UTPA.
Now, if the students can briefly introduce yourself and give your peers a tip of how to build mentoring partnerships.
Okay. I'm Shubhaji Chakravarti, a doctoral candidate in business. My research interests are primarily in operations management, specifically about services, and currently I'm trying to focus on healthcare issues here in the US. A little bit of background, I have a chemical engineering bachelor's and an MBA in systems and marketing, and now I'm in the doctoral program. I had about 11 years of practitioner experience, some of it as an expatriate, having worked in the US before and also in Europe, in Hungary. Now back to mentoring. I have had several mentoring relationships while I was working before. I mentored quite a few people in my company and in others also. Now in academia, now in the PhD program, I have Dr. Kainak as my mentor. Now specifically a few things that I would like to share. How did at least I go about choosing the mentor? First, that I looked, as Dr. Kainak and Dr. Zwelling also said, at least I looked for the research interest. Dr. Kainak's interests are exactly what I wanted to do. So that was my first thing. Second is, who am I going to choose as mentor? He or she must be supportive. I mean, part of that was at least like how busy or how much do you think that person as you are going to choose as a mentor could or would support you in your activities. That is very important for me as a student. I just don't want to choose anyone as a mentor and maybe not get that support when I need, because that is the person to me who is not only my advisor, not only my support system, but also as a role model. So having said all this, I think I have chosen an excellent professor, Dr. Kainak, as my mentor.
Hello everyone, my name is Murat Canerkul. Sorry about my voice. I just got a cold. So. I'm also in PhD program in management. I'm a PhD candidate. I'm starting my 4th year. So I should start my dissertation now. To write my dissertation. My mentor is Dr. Kainak. I'm a B-type person, so I think I got the best fit. So she's a A-type, I'm a B-type. So this is a joke. I just list what is mentor for me. So I just put also herself in that place. She's an advisor for me. She's a supporter for me, emotionally, moral support. She's a tutor for me for specific feedback, especially in the papers. Those are tough feedbacks, actually. And the trainer, she's training for my career development and professional development. And she's a sponsor. She just directs us, and also Subhajit and other students, go to this conference, go to this, submit your paper to this journal and that journal. And she's also a role model because she's one of the, let's say, celebrities in her area. How I choose my mentor? I think the same. I had my MBA degree in Pan Am, so I knew her before I started my PhD program. So I wanted to work on operation management since I was in undergrad. So I started my MBA, and then I decided to work with Dr. Kainak so I can move on with my PhD career and maybe professor career, hopefully. So this is the way I choose my mentor. And I just want to give an advice for the professor because I did the same mistake. I thought I'm the only one student she's dealing with. So the time issue for professors and other PhD students is important because they have limited times. So if you send your paper to your professor, just send it 2 months earlier or 1 month earlier so they can just send you feedback. Just an advice for you. Because they have to deal with other students, other classes, and also social life and their life, which we have the same thing. And so that's all, I guess.
Hello, my name is Tomas de la Cruz, and it's kind of hard going at the end because, well, they brought up some interesting points. But there's been a lot of talk on what a mentor should be, right? But let me tell you what a student or how you should treat your mentor. Right? You can't treat them too nice. You can't. First of all, find one that's patient, right? But you can't treat them too nice, you know, because this individual right here is where I want to be. So as a mentor, he will get me there, or he will quit, because I'm not going to fire him, because he's where I got to be. You know what I mean? So he already took that path, and now he knows exactly what footing I should place. You know what I mean? So you pick at them a lot, right? Of course they're busy, and I understand that. You do, right? They are busy. But keep in mind that, you know, they know the way. So milk them for what they're worth. Contacts, you know, Dr. Sorling has looked over resumes that I've signed off on, and, you know, teaching philosophies, stuff like that. Any little thing you got, throw it at them, throw it at them. Granted, they're busy, I understand that once more. But still, for all they're worth. Contacts, information, places I can publish. These people know the way. They do. Take advantage of it. One of the little questions here that I was supposed to talk about was, does everyone need one? No. I don't think everybody needs one. I mean, some of you guys probably do it fine on your own. You have a support group at home. You don't need academic support. Fantastic, right? But does it make things easier? Yes. Very much so. So do it. Be paid. But obviously find one that's kind of that you mesh with. You know, the way I picked it is I asked him if he liked Bruce Springsteen. He said yes. Done. That was all I needed. All I needed. But good luck, and I'm glad the MFA people are here. I'm glad, so glad. We need to expand our program. Thank you.
Tomas, I have a quick question for you.
By all means.
Are you going to be a graduate student for 13 years too?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate it.